we're hosting one of our biggest parties of the entire year, the annual CIAA tournament, which is a lot more than just a basketball tournament. There are lots of events, and I like to think of it as the largest homecoming family reunion in the world. And so what we're trying to do is to organize ourselves across the different agencies to ensure that the tens of thousands of people coming to our city to have a good time can do so in a safe manner and really enjoy themselves here. But we are going to have some weather to deal with. I'd like to bring up first today Deputy Fire Chief Rob Kinnenberg, who will give you the latest information that we have on the projected weather conditions. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Carley. Rob Kinnenberg, Deputy Fire Chief, Charlotte Fire and Charlotte-Mecklenburg Emergency Management. We had a 3:30 conference call with the National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg. The best expectation we have at this point is precipitation starting around 5 o'clock as light rain. The rain will intensify through about 8 o'clock. The snow is expected to begin in the 8 to 9 p.m. time frame. The heaviest snow will come down between 10 and 2 a.m., will continue through the night, and we expect it to end sometime around daybreak, maybe as late as 10 a.m. We're expecting 6 to 10 inches of accumulation across Mecklenburg County, with the largest accumulations in southeast Charlotte, the least toward Huntersville. Temperatures on Thursday will remain below 32 degrees. The high is expected to be just above about 35 degrees with a low Thursday night of 25. Highs Friday will only reach 41 with a low of 24 headed towards Saturday morning, and again a high of 40 Saturday morning. That's the weather briefing. Thank you.
And of course, weather does change. Once again, we'll want to thank the news media locally for all of your excellent coverage on our previous storms, and we encourage people to watch news reports very closely for emerging and evolving conditions and changes in the forecast. We'll next hear from our major public partners in Charlotte-Mecklenburg, beginning with county government and County Manager Dina DiOrio.
Thank you, Ron. Just a few updates. Most evening activities by Park and Recreation have been canceled. Not all of them have been canceled, so we're asking the public to reach out to your respective recreation center or other relevant facility to find out if your activity is still going to be going on. The county libraries are closing at 7 p.m. this evening. They anticipate that they will be closed tomorrow, but will make a final decision later this evening. The Mecklenburg County court system will follow the lead of Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools about whether or not they will open tomorrow, and they've also indicated that the clerk's office may have a delayed opening, but they will make the final decisions as conditions warrant. Thank you.
And then, of course, the one thing everybody wants to know, what's happening with Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system. Superintendent Ann Clark.
Thank you, Ron, and I want to start by thanking all the people standing behind me this afternoon, because we have an amazing partnership across agency that allows the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, that has liability for 145,000 students and 18,000 employees, to make the best decision around safety for our students and staff. At this point, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is completing its final Tier 4 routes and anticipate having all our buses off the roads by 6:30. We have canceled all field trips, all after-school activities, all athletic practices, all conference tournament games for basketball, for men's and women's high school basketball teams, and all community use of our facilities. Those events have been canceled. We anticipate making a decision around schools within the next 2 hours. We would like to be able to make a decision for our employees and our students at the same time, and would remind the public that we have 9, 10, 11, and 12-month employees, and each of those employee groups have a different set of choices that they can make on a day when we're closed or on an optional work day. So we assure you we'll make a decision within the next 2 hours so that our employees and our parents and our 145,000 students can prepare for tomorrow. But given the forecast, I think people can imagine what that decision is likely to be. Thank you.
I know it's sometimes a little bit frustrating that we don't make decisions earlier than we do about opening and closing of operations. Actually, the city government, county government, and the schools have different responsibilities, and we have to assess our responsibility and who needs to be here and who can afford not to be here, and what is safe for our employees and the people for whom we're responsible, especially all of the school children. The bottom line is, if we can safely be open, we want to be open. But if it's not safe to be open, then we have to exercise prudence. All of that said, we have every hotel room in Charlotte filled. We've got some awesome events going on, particularly at the arena, and we are so thrilled to have CIA Commissioner Jackie McWilliams here with us. Please come tell us what you guys have planned. Welcome to Charlotte. It's so good to have you back.
Thank you. I wish I brought some sun. We are extremely excited still to be here for this tournament. I really would like to thank the city officials and the local organizing committee. We've been talking about this since yesterday to prepare what the next few days would look like. As you know, there's a lot of people coming in town and expecting to have a really good time, not just in the arena, but outside of the arena. Since this morning's brief, what we've decided to do, the games will continue today. We're doing a rolling start of all of our games, which means that at the end of each game, the next game will start the next 20 minutes after that. Opposed to the last game ending at 9:10, we assume that the game will end pretty early so that we can get the teams back to their hotels and the fans out of the building. For tomorrow, we've canceled the Ricky Smiley show. Unfortunately, the weather and the conditions, that show starts at 6 a.m. We know that we won't be prepared to have fans come and take part in that, so we're canceling that event with the hope to bring him back next year. We have a 2-hour delay for the Career Expo. We'll continue to watch what's going to happen with that given the weather and the conditions. If we have to cancel it, we will. But right now, all other events are on schedule. You can go on theciaa.com to get more information. We're sending emails out and also our social media to communicate with our fans, with the hotels, and also the school administrators. So we're looking forward to have a great tournament week. We're asking our administrators and student athletes to make sure that they come safely, prepare in time, come a little bit early in case there is conditions where it may slow you down. But otherwise, we're looking forward to having a great week. So thank you.
Thank you so much. We will offer you the best of Charlotte hospitality with regard to the weather. I don't know if it would be Southern hospitality, but we are so thrilled to have you and encourage everyone to say hello to our guests as we typically do in Charlotte. This is probably the most welcoming city that anyone can find. One of our most important private sector partners is, of course, Duke Energy, and we're glad to have Tim Gauss with us today. He is the regional director of, I always get this wrong, government and community relations. He's the guy responsible for everything that goes on at Duke Power. Call you, right? All right. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Ron. Well, you've heard the weather forecast, and we've been busy today prepping our crews to either stay here for service restoration purposes or to travel to assist other areas as needed. I think the key here in terms of weather conditions is whether we have a wet snow or not. As you know, the moisture in the snow can cause trees and limbs to buckle, which bring down power lines. So we're watching that very closely. If your power goes off, I want you to again remember this number, 1-800-POWER-ON. Call and let us know if you see a line lying on the ground. Let us know if your power is off. Don't assume that just because you're in a neighborhood where the power is off that your home or your business is taken care of. We want to know about every situation. And as you travel, I would ask you to slow down, be cognizant of the crews that are out there working to restore your services. It works better for us if we can keep your equipment out of our work zones. And finally, we have a website. You can go to www.duke-energy.com and watch the updates for power restoration and outages, and we urge you to use that as one of our best communication tools. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, so much, and thank you for the partnership. I now would like for you to hear from 6 of the city departments, if I counted right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, beginning with Danny Pleasant, Charlotte Department of Transportation, and then I'd ask each of you to come up behind the other one, introduce yourselves, and give an update on your area of service. Mr. Pleasant.
Thank you, Ron. Charlotte Department of Transportation crews have been out pre-treating city streets all day long today with the salt brine solution. We will have 32 trucks, 64 crew members out in the streets all night long, applying salt and plowing as necessary. We will focus on our major thoroughfares, bridges, hospital entrances. We'll be focusing on assisting police and fire department and medic as emergencies are called in. Like I said, we'll be working around the clock. We'll be evaluating conditions on an ongoing basis as we move forward. Again, motorists, folks that are out there are encouraged to keep a distance from trucks and heavy equipment, particularly spreading salt. Salt is not good for the paint job on your car, so you don't want to follow too closely behind. Salt trucks, as has been mentioned time and time again, any motorist out there needs to use an abundance of caution, travel slowly, keep a wide distance between you and surrounding vehicles. Pedestrians are cautioned about sidewalks for the most part of the city. We do not treat sidewalks. We count on property owners to treat sidewalks adjacent to their properties. There will be limited treatment in the center city area due to the events that we're hosting over the weekend. And as always, black ice is a threat. As you see areas melting, they're subject to refreeze. So anything that looks wet, just be extremely cautious that it might be frozen. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm John Muth, Interim Public Transit Director. First, I'll address this evening. We expect our bus operation to be on regular service into the evening, and as snow accumulates, we might have to go on detour, which typically means that if some of the side streets are starting to get covered with snow and ice, we then focus our efforts on the main thoroughfares. So folks might have to go out to a main thoroughfare to catch a bus. You can check on our website at www.ridetransit.org for any detour information. Our Lynx Light Rail will run regular service this evening. We plan to run trains through the night to make sure that the catenary and the tracks are clear for morning service. Tomorrow, our bus service levels will be dependent on road conditions. Our street supervisors will be out through the night, again, checking road conditions. We also plan for rail service to be operating normally, but again, please check our website. In particular, if you are riding the rail and you plan to transfer to a bus route, again, please check the website to make sure what frequency or whether that bus is able to operate. Please expect delays and allow extra time to get to your destination, and we ask that everyone exercise caution on the sidewalks, the bus stops, the park and ride lots, and the rail platforms. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Victoria Johnson, City of Charlotte Solid Waste Services Director. We will be completing all of our solid waste services routes today. As the weather continue, we will make a determination on what the service will look like tomorrow. We do not want to state that at this time because we never know what may happen. Things can change. We are working with several other city departments to keep the sidewalks as best salt uptown for our CIAA partners to ensure that they're as safe as possible, and we will continue to work with that effort with property and engineering management in order to continue to do that. And we'll update you throughout the evening, and as soon as we can make a call, we will make a call so citizens can be prepared for whatever level of service they may receive tomorrow. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Deputy Chief Estes with CMPD. Of course, we're carefully monitoring the weather conditions. We're watching closely in concert with our partners behind us on the appropriate response in relation to the weather. We have made plans and preparations, including adjusting staffing models for inclement weather as it should arise. We have contingency plans based on the severity of the weather, and we'll implement those as the needs arise. We will, of course, monitor throughout the night, and then we plan on opening up our command center in the very early morning hours, and it'll be open up throughout. As it would happen, our command center was scheduled to be open already in response to the CIAA tournament, so we'll just fold that right into our regular operations. We'd also like to recommend to the community that during the duration of the storm, if you don't have to go out and travel, please don't. When you're at home, make sure you have proper supplies in case your power does go out. Make sure your cell phones are charged up properly if you don't have a landline service, so that in an emergency that you can call. Make sure if you do have an emergency that you call 911. However, if it is not an emergency, that you utilize the 311 system. We want to make sure that the 911 system is available for those who truly do have emergencies. We also would like to recommend that people who do have to travel can use the Twitter traffic alerts at QC Traffic Alerts, and that way you can get real-time, up-to-the-minute information on delays, accidents, and things of that nature. The police department would like to make sure that everyone's very cautious during this time period, make sure they don't travel unless they have to, and that they would use 911 for emergencies only. Thank you.
Brent Cagle, Charlotte Douglas International Airport. So we are expecting inclement weather this evening and through to tomorrow. As always, we strongly recommend that anyone with travel plans either this evening or early tomorrow, probably throughout the day tomorrow, that they check with their airlines before coming to the airport. We do expect heavy delays and cancellations through this evening and into tomorrow morning. The airport has implemented its snow and ice removal teams. They'll be working 12-hour shifts to clear the runways, and the de-icing trucks will be fully deployed to de-ice and keep the aircraft moving. We also are prepared for stranded passengers. At this point, it's unclear how many stranded passengers we have, but we know with this kind of event that is an inevitability. So we are prepared for that, and staff will be on site in the terminal assisting passengers and making them as comfortable as possible. We will keep concessionaires open, and TSA will hold open checkpoints throughout the evening to allow passengers to move back and forth between the secured and non-secured areas. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janice Quintana with Charmec 311. We will be open till 8 p.m. today. If we need to stay open later, we're prepared to do so. We have staff sleeping over. We are going to stand up an hour earlier tomorrow at 6 a.m. And again, we'll monitor the storm, and if we need to stay open later, we will do so. We do have a recording on the 301 system, so if you call in there, we will keep it updated as we get information. So if you listen to the entire message, it may answer your questions, and if not, if you need to speak to a live operator, there will be someone there to help you. Please tell any of your friends or family, or if you're out of the area and you need to call 301 and get information, to use the 10-digit number, which is 704-336-7600. Again, that is 704-336-7600. Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you all. It's truly a great team that we're working with, and it truly is a team. You see leadership from all of the agencies. We will literally have hundreds of people out on the street throughout the evening and overnight, and in the early morning hours doing everything that we possibly can do to keep the city as open and as safe as we possibly can. The governor earlier today declared a state of emergency given the breadth of this event for North Carolina. He said, and I quote, "We hope to be overprepared and underwhelmed by the weather, but we are anticipating the worst." We hope that we will be overprepared as well. As you hear, we have a lot of contingency plans, but at the end of the day, no matter what we do, no matter how many resources we're able to put toward a big storm, we cannot do it by ourselves. We really need the support of the public in exercising really good sense, as has been consistently done in bad weather in Charlotte. And we continue to depend on you, the news media, to get the word out as you have. And so our final guidance is this: expect disruption, expect delays, expect the possibility of hazardous conditions. If you venture out early evening, get home early, later in the evening, before venturing out, and before venturing out in the morning, check with your favorite news affiliate in this city and get situational awareness. If you don't have to go out, don't, because there are people who have to be out upon whom all the rest of us depend for basic services. So if we get real snow and you don't have to go, be a child and just go out and play and make a snow person. thank you all very much for your support. We will all be around to answer individual questions from the different people from the media here. Thank you very much.